I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make this stacked cubed pop-up card. I have done a video already on this, but there was a problem with the music that we put over some of the bits that we were not speaking, and we put it on, and then this weird guitar image came on. I don't know why it did it, but it wouldn't let us take it off or do anything, so I just thought I'd redo the entire tutorial. So this is the one that I'm going to show you how to make today. So it's just got Popcorn the Bear on the front, and then when you open the card up, you've got a nice stack of cubes for you to be able to decorate and put whatever you want on. And then on the back it's got plenty of space for you to be able to write any messages that you've got. Now, like I said, this wasn't the first one that I made. I did 2 takes of the video before. This was the first one, and it's Swan Lake theme because I'd got a Crafts Companion Swan Lake, well, it's Sarah's signature collection. It was one of the small boxes that's got loads of stuff in, and that was Swan Lake theme, so I wanted to go with that because I really liked it. And I just stamped some of the swans and the ballerinas and coloured them in, and just used some peel-offs to decorate. And these were out of a magazine, the die cut pieces, so I just used those ones. So, and then the one that I did on the video that had the guitarist over is this one. I forgot to say, the main backing papers that I used for this one is from a paper pad which also was Swan Lake themed, but it was a Christmas paper, but most of the pages in the pad you can use all year round. So, and this is it. I've just gone on a blue and green theme on this one. So again, I've just stamped and coloured some images and some die cut pieces and some peel offs, some pretty papers, and just decorated it. You can put whatever you want on. And then I've got my sentiment on the back here, and then I've just got some sticky peel offs just to go in the corner so it looks like it's got Brad's holding it to the page. So let me show you how I make them. Right, so to make the main piece of the card, you're going to need a 6x6 card blank. If you've not got any pre-bought ones, you can just cut a piece of 12x12 in half, and so it's 12x6, and then on the 12-inch side score at 6 inches. So that'll be your base card. Then you need one piece that is 4 inches by 8.5. Sorry, I'm coming up here now. So that's 4 inches by 8.5, and then I don't know whether I'm going to be able to see the numbers, but I'll zoom you in a little bit. And then you just need to score on the 8.5 inch side at 2, 4, 6 and 8. So that'll leave you 4 sections, and then this is for your glue tab. And then you need 2 pieces that are 7 inches by 2 inches. And along the 7-inch side, score at 1/2 inch, 2.5, 4.5 and 6.5. Okay, so you need 2 of those ones. You also need 3 pieces of your chosen backing paper, and these will be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So you need 2 for the inside, and then whatever you want to put on the front of the card. You don't have to do much on the front of the card. I've done this because it's going to my parents once it's made. So it's going to be a wedding anniversary card, but because the card is meant to be displayed open, you don't have to do too much on the front. It's up to you. If you want to, you can do. And then from the back of the card, it's a plain white piece of cardstock, again, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I've just stamped Happy Anniversary on the back of there. So there's plenty of room for you to write any messages that you want to put on. So, oh, and then I'll just tell you the sizes of the mats that you need. So you need, how many of this one? 14 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and those are for the smaller cubes. And then for the larger cubes, you need 6 that are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, so 6 of that one. Okay, so we'll just get putting the card together. So what we need to do is just open up your card back, make sure you've got it the right way up if you've stamped on the back of it already. So if you've got directional paper, this is just when you've got to double check that you've got it going around the right way. This one's not too bad, but I'm going to have it going up that way. So you need to do this part before you stick your cubes down. So make sure you stick your backing papers down first, because if you don't, then you're going to be kicking yourself when it comes to putting your cubes in. I'm just using the Collal all-purpose glue, and if you get any glue that sort of squidges out, if you just keep rubbing at it, it'll turn into like a gel, because it's solvent based, not water based. So this doesn't warp your cardstock because it's not water based. It's better. Okay. So just pop that in the centre there. Right, so the next part is we'll just take our 3 pieces of cardstock that we've scored, and you need to fold and burnish all of the score lines. And when you've done your scoring, this is the side that you've done your scoring, so when you're burnishing, turn it over and fold away from yourself. It just stretches the fibres, so it reduces the chance of the fibres in the card tearing or anything like that. This is quite a thick cardstock. I think it's about 220 GSM if I remember right. But when you've got all your mats and layers on, it'll be fully strengthened anyway, so it doesn't have to be that strong, but this is just what I'm using for today. So once you've done all that, we're just going to glue these pieces together. Get this one out. Got glue on the end of my nib. Okay. So in fact what I'm going to do is, like you do when you're making boxes, I'm just going to trim a little wedge off of either side. It's just so that there's no chance of it sticking out of the piece that it's attaching to. Okay, so if you just flatten it down like this, so you've got your tab, and then just fold this over and it'll go perfectly to where it needs to be. Just give it a rub. Okay, so you've got your first pillar. Now, because we don't need to make full cubes for these, because they're going to be stuck to the sides of this one, we've just got the 2 tabs here. So these tabs are going to be covered by one of the mats and layers that we've got. Now it's up to you whether if you want to stick one of the bottom pieces underneath, so you've just got one tab stuck to the box, or whether if you just want to leave them both on the outside. I think I'm going to leave them both on the outside on this one, but if you are tucking one underneath, on the piece that's going to glue inside, just snip off a little wedge like we have done on the bigger one, and then it'll just fit in a little bit easier for you. So now you can just flatten out your cube. Sorry, wrong glue bottle. Right. So if you just line this up, if you can zoom in a little bit for you there. Right, so your score line wants to line perfectly up with the base of the larger cube. And then what you've got to do is then you've got to try and make sure that it's level to the other piece so it makes your cube. So once I've stuck it, I'll show you what I'm doing. So just make sure your other piece is lined up to the outside edge of your cube. Right, once I've got that. Right, so as you can see here, it's flush with the, whoop, when it decides to stick. It's because I didn't rub it. Okay, and if it's not exactly how it needs to be, with you using the liquid glue, you've got time to just adjust it to how you want it to be. So it's flush with this side, and the majority of that flap's going to get covered over with mats and layers. So then you've got a piece that looks something like that. So we're going to do the same on this one. Sorry, back out again now. I'm not the best camera person, so I do apologise. So this one's just going to go next to it to form our other cube. So again, flatten it down. Now that one's going to be at the side of it, so that side. Because you've got the other one at the side of it, you know it's going to marry up perfectly to that piece. And then again, you've got the piece at the side of your other one, so you know where that one needs to lay to. Okay, so just fold it over. And it'll go. Come on now, you're not cooperating. Okay. So if you do it like that, then you know and it's going edge to edge, so it's going to go exactly where it needs to be. So then when you pop open the centrepiece, you've got your 3 cubes. Now the only way that this piece is going to be attached to the base part is by these 2 squares here. But all the other squares we're going to be covering with our mats and layers. It's a little bit easier doing it while you've not stuck this down to the card. If you want to stick it to the card first, then that's up to you. I'm going to do it before I stick them down, just so that it makes it a little bit easier for me. So I'll speed up this bit because you don't need to see me doing all of it in real time. so we've got all our mats stuck down onto our cube, so we should have 2 here, 4 on the inside of here, those are the bigger pieces, and then we've got 16 of the 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. I've done the top and the front of each of the cubes, and then I've done all 4 sides on the inside. That's just to cover up the flaps where we've stuck them together. You don't have to put them all on the inside, it's just I want it to look nice from every angle, because I think when somebody gets a pop-up card they have a really good look at you know, everything that's going on in the card. So I just wanted to cover my base and make sure everything was covered. So now if you just want to take your card blank, just make sure that you've got it the right way up. Yep, that way. So like I said before, we're only going to be attaching it by these 2 squares here. And what we're going to do, we're basically going to line up the points of the centre cube with the score line. Sorry, I went up camera there. And it's going to be probably about 1/4 inch or so, just away from the edge, in line with your backing papers that you've put on. So I'll just put my glue on here. Again, another good way for using liquid glue, because you might have to manoeuvre it around a bit. So both points of the larger cube need to line up with the centre score line. So can't show you quite just yet. Once I've got it stuck I'll be able to lift it up and show you a bit better. Okay, just wait for it to grab. Okay, right, so now I can show you. So it's this point is met up with the fold line, and this side is met up with the fold line, but all it's stuck by is those 2 cubes. Okay, so then when you fold your card it will go completely flat. Well, it's got a little bit of bulk to it, so you might want to put it into a gusseted envelope or something like that, or if you're just putting it into a bag, or doing a belly band or something, if you just want to class that as your envelope as such. So we'll close that up now, and then this is just my backing paper, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I've just coloured in some I think they're called Popcorn the Bear. They're from Crafter's Companion. They're really old stamps. They're not acrylic, they're the old grey rubber ones that you used to be able to get. But I really like these. I can use these for lots of different things. But as I say, this is going to be a wedding anniversary card, so hence the 2 bears sitting on the love cushions together. Okay, and then stick that on the front. Okay, and then I've got some die cut words. I'm going to have celebrate on the front there, and then I'm going to have happy wedding anniversary on these pieces here. So I think I'll have happy and wedding on that side, and then get it the right way over, Becca, and that on that side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get an old cardboard box, and I've got some spray adhesive. Because they're quite delicate, these, I like to use this so it covers all my bases for going all the way around. I could just use liquid glue and things, but it can get a bit gloopy and stuff if you've got it all over your fingers. I don't want to spoil the card, so that's just it. Sorry about the noise on that. So just give them a squirt, just make sure you've I should say, when using this, be in a well ventilated room, as it's an aerosol. This one's Hobbycraft permanent adhesive. You can get different brands, Crafter's Companion of their own as well. So if you just let the propellant to go away, so it starts to get tacky. Okay, so I'll close my card back up. So I'm going to have celebrate along the front. Okay, and I'll open it back up again. Oh, sorry, I'm knocking the camera with my head. Might knock some sense into myself if I keep doing that. And my husband will probably be, if I get it the right way up, as I see, it's not knocked enough sense into me. My husband will be laughing at me now when he's doing the editing. There we go. Which one are we on now? Wedding anniversary. So we were having that on that side, weren't we? So I'm a bit off. I must remind you to, if you're using the spray adhesive, make sure that you spray the right side of the words, because I've done it before and I've sprayed the wrong side and I was a bit cross with myself. Oh, see, I should have put my wedding on first, but because this doesn't stick completely straight away, you've got that bit of time to adjust it. Let's get you properly on now. And there you go, that's your finished card. Now I will be putting some other embellishments on it, but I haven't quite decided what it's going to be yet. I might put some Nouveau drops on the corner or some peel-offs or something, just so that it looks like it's pinned down to the card. And I'll put some like little love notes and things on the cubes. You can put little photos of people or whoever you're giving it to, or quotes, or just you could write notes on it yourself. There's lots of different things that you could do with all of these cubes. Put flowers on, or if it's for a mail card, they could just put images of whatever the hobby is or something like that. So you can use it for any occasion sort of card. I don't know what happened and the camera decided to turn itself off, but yeah, so just lots of different places that you can put something on. I might cut out some love hearts or some paper flowers and things, so I'm going to have a think about it. Because you've got quite a lot of pattern going on, you don't need to do absolutely loads to each of the pieces. So I think they're just a really fun and quick card to do, and they look more complicated than they actually are. When I first heard about this type of card, and when I've seen them in magazines and things, I thought, wow, they look really complicated. And then I looked at it and I thought, well, no, they're not. If they were complicated, I couldn't do it. So I'll put it that way. But apologies for the first take of this video coming off. Again, like I said, there's something went horribly wrong with the first take of it, and a really random image had got superimposed over the tutorial. So I apologise for that. So I hope everybody who that watched it before will come and watch again. So thank you for watching, and I hope I've inspired you to have a go at these cards. And if you've enjoyed it, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, that'd be appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, because that would be appreciated too. And I'll see you next time.